Donald Trump's decline is undeniable at this point. It doesn't even matter if the mainstream media refuses to cover it, because Donald Trump is broadcasting his decline for the entire world to see. And that is what he just did in a meeting in the Oval Office with the president of South Korea, in which he wasn't just attacking him, but slurring his words, struggling to speak, and completely imploding upon himself. And one of the biggest signs of cognitive decline we've seen yet, in which he just went on this strange rant about women that you're going to want to stick around for because it was so weird. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, of course, Donald Trump was meeting with an ally of ours in South Korea, but that didn't stop him from talking about how much he loves our enemy in Vladimir Putin right here.
He say that he wanted to sit down with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Russia, as of now, says there's no meeting on the books and no agenda is set.
Well, that's going to be up to them. It takes two to tango, I always say it. And they should meet, I think, before I have a meeting and probably close the deal. But I think it's appropriate they meet. They do not exactly get along well, as you can understand. And I'm sure it's a meeting that perhaps he didn't like, but he wasn't happy about coming to the United States either. That was a big concession, and I appreciate the fact that he did. You know, I've always had a very good relationship, despite a fake Russia haunt that we had. But we've always had a great relationship, very good relationship, strong relationship with Russia. That's a good thing, not a bad thing, by the way. That's a very good thing. And it's good to get along with Kim Jong-un, and it's good to get along with everybody, including President Lee. It's good to get along, and I get along with the foreign leaders. You see that with the biggest group of foreign leaders that we've ever had. Don't forget the European Union was here also representing a large group of countries just recently. So I believe that
Donald Trump consistently shows us how much Putin played him. Like, it couldn't be clear that Vladimir Putin is pulling all the strings of a cognitively declining Donald Trump. He didn't want to come here. That was the whole point. Donald, it was a photo op. He embarrassed you. He made our troops, our service members, get on their knees and roll out a red carpet for him to legitimize his war crimes, legitimize the invasion of Ukraine. That is exactly what Putin wanted, and it's exactly what Putin got. Because Donald Trump is weak and pathetic, no matter how much he tries to project strength. And he tried to, when he has announced that I think he wants to colonize South Korea. Just take a look at this weird statement from Trump.
Would you consider reducing the number of U.S. forces in South Korea so that the United States can have more
well, I don't want
flexibility?
to say that now, because we've been friends and we're friends. And look, we have a lot of people over there. We have over 40,000 troops in South Korea. As you know, South Korea agreed to pay for that during my last term, and then when Biden came in, they complained to Biden that I wasn't a nice person, and he agreed not to pay. He gave up billions of dollars. We were getting paid billions of dollars. But then Biden ended that for whatever reason. It's unbelievable that he did. But we have a very good relationship militarily. They would say, but we gave you land. I said, no, you didn't. You leased us land. There's a big difference between giving and leasing. And maybe one of the things I'd like to do is ask them to give us ownership of the land where we have the big fort. You know, we spent a lot of money building a fort, and there was a contribution made by South Korea, but I would like to see if we could get rid of the lease and get ownership of the land where we have a massive military base. Okay?
Mr. President, how are you? Thank you, Mr. President. How are you planning to make?
We're taking the land? You don't want to lease? What is it? Like, this is the Trump presidency. It has all been about what image Trump can create to try to make himself look tough or look strong or change the look of literal physical objects. Like, Donald Trump just wants to play interior decorator. He changed the Rose Garden to make it look shitty. He changed the Oval Office to make it look shitty. And now I guess we're taking land in South Korea. Donald Trump has just tried to seize things that he can't and rename things that no one cares about. And that's been the presidency. Nothing has been accomplished except Donald Trump trying to make himself look tough. And he's not. DC is the perfect example of this. And speaking of which, it was an example of Donald Trump literally attacking the president of South Korea over DC. And then he went into this strange rant about women. Just check it all out.
Having a murder. Now we haven't had, and I would say that Washington, D.C. right now is much safer than Seoul. You know why? Because we have a friendly neighbor. We have more friendly neighbors. You have a different kind of problem. We all have different problems. But Washington, D.C. is a very safe city right now. People are going out to dinner. Restaurants are opening. Restaurants that were going to close are now going to stay open. Friends of mine are going out to dinner all the time. They didn't go out to dinner for 4 years. It went rampant during the Biden years. Just rampant. That's why Susie is very close to the mayor and has a lot of respect for her, but
There is so much to unpack there. First of all, bringing in an ally and saying our capital is much safer than yours and your capital is terrible. Like, attacking someone is just insanity. What was Trump even trying to say there? He's struggling to speak. He's unable to formulate a thought. He is in such clear cognitive decline. And the president of South Korea just has to sit there like, okay, yep, sure, Donald, whatever you'd like, huh? And he continued to just have to sit there and like essentially take it as Trump lost his mind and started screaming about Obama and the ozone layer.
we're going to see a magnificent sight. It's a great country.
Mr. President, on the National
Both you
Guard.
and presently actually are planning to go to China. You mentioned either this year or next year. Could you please share more details about your plans going to China and also presently? I think
Well, maybe we'll go together. Do you want to go together? We can share a plan. We'll save energy. We'll save. We'll save a little. The ozone layer. Remember President Obama?
This is levels of hypocrisy that is kind of like in competition with Trump this morning, saying that J.D. Pritzker needs to work out more. It's like, Donald, have you looked at yourself in the mirror recently? I know that you use all of the makeup available in the continental United States to cover up the bruises on your hands, but it doesn't work to cover up your gut and whatever this is and whatever that is up there. That's not going to help you, Donald. But no one has golfed more, maybe set aside professional golfers since the beginning of Donald Trump's administration, than Donald Trump. That is all he does. And not only does Trump golf all the time, he uses his golf outings to funnel money from us, the taxpayer, directly into his golf clubs. That's the only place he's taking these trips. Donald Trump is always looking for a grift, always looking to get out of work, always looking to find a scapegoat, and always looking to be the victim. And we could see that right here.
Are more raids like the one on Gun Bolton's house coming?
More raids? I don't know. You'd have to ask the Department of Justice. They raided my house, I can tell you that. They did a big raid on my house. They took away everything that wasn't pinned down, and they took away some of that too. No, they raided Mar-a-Lago. They started that. These were bad people that we had in our government before. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They went into my wife's area. They went into my son's area, my young son. And what they did was a disgrace. But how did it work out? I see. We're in the overall. I guess it didn't work out too well for them, did it? They are bad people. They're sick. They're sick people. And they came in with their guns into Mar-a-Lago, and like 98 people. I wasn't there. Fortunately, I wasn't there. But they are very evil, very sick people, that group. And if they would have won the election, this country wouldn't exist as we know it. This country would have been a failed country. And now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world by far. We are the hottest country in the world by far. Okay.
Mr. President,
How are you having a conversation with the president of South Korea and somehow like you decide to start ranting about Mar-a-Lago? Like, this was a legitimate question about John Bolton, and of course Trump is going to pretend he had nothing to do with it. What are you telling me there was a raid of a guy who days before I was tweeting was so nasty? I'm unaware. How would that have happened? I didn't tell Pam Bondi, who does everything I ask because she's got no thoughts of her. I'm going to stop doing Trump. I don't know why I'm doing Trump. The Gavin Newsom account has overtaken me, and now I just have to do it. I've got no clue what I'm doing, and we love Gavin. But it's like, seriously, are you going to try to play dumb? Well, he doesn't have to play dumb. He can just be dumb. So there's that. But of course, this is Donald Trump, as he always has and always will, inflicting his intimidation upon anyone who will disagree with him or stand up to him or call him out. Because of course he will. We really thought we were going to end political persecution? No, it's only getting started. And it's not the only promise Trump broke.
Incredible with the, as I call it, the Department of War. You know, we call it the Department of Defense, but between us, I think we're going to change the name. You want to know the truth? I think we're going to have some information on that maybe soon. But I think because, Department of Defense, we won the World War I, World War II. It was called the Department of War. And to me, that's really what it is. It's defense is a part of that. But I have a feeling we're going to be changing. I'm talking to the people. Everybody likes that. We had an unbelievable history of victory when it was Department of War. Then we change it to Department of Defense. So that's a little thing, has nothing to do with your country, but it's something that I think you're going to be hearing about or seeing about over the next couple of weeks. Probably that change is going to be made over the next week or so.
Ooh, the Department of War. The No New Wars people are going to love that one. They're going to think it's fantastic. So we are doing wars. We're doing new wars. And Trump hasn't ended any wars. We're just keeping them going, and we're starting new ones. But again, this is just the essential. This is the essential move of the Trump presidency. Look at the thing that I renamed. Look at the objects I moved around. I did some decorating. Can I get a pat on the back? And MAGA just hails it as a huge win. Oh, what a sign of strength. I can already see it on Fox. Donald Trump is doing peace through strength. And the strength is like changing the name of something. I don't really think any of our enemies who just saw Putin come and take a piss on Alaska are going to go, whoa, guys. Did you see that Trump changed the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War? We might want to rethink everything. It's idiotic. And just talking about idiocy, take a look at what Trump said right here.
Destroy China. I'm not going to play those cards.
Mr. President, on the National Guard, you've talked a lot about Democratic-run cities and states.
Yep.
Would you also consider sending the National Guard into red states and red cities that are also seeing high crime?
Sure, but there aren't that many of them. If you look at the top 25 cities that for crime, just about.
Yeah, red states don't have crime. They only have all of the crime. I don't even know what to say anymore, except for we are going to call them out every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.